Welcome. I'm Kim, your host, and this episode of the Emotional Needs Podcast is a little bit more different. It's more relaxed, it's more personal, and honestly, it's a lot more fun. And even my dog Pepper joins me in the room today while I'm recording, calling it a hodgepodge episode because I'm sharing a bit of everything that's going on in my midlife world right now. And I really think that you can resonate with all of these things. I'm jumping into things like emotional eating while traveling, what happened with my massive spike in cravings and emotional eating over the last few weeks, and the surprising role that my hormones played in that. And what's kind of funny is my husband figured it out before I did. I'm talking about the tools that I love that are saving my sanity. I talk about the supplements I love, my favorite book right now, and also my 2 minutes of fame on TV. I even share a little bit about my latest crochet project fail. This episode is real life. It's messy, it's imperfect, it's full of tips and reflections. And so if you've ever been struggling with lately feeling in control, curious about what's normal in midlife, or just want to hear from someone who truly gets what you're going through, today you are in the right place with this episode. Make sure to share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it, hit subscribe or follow, and thank you so much for being a part of my Emotional Needs Podcast family. I'm really grateful for you. Let's get into the hodgepodge episode. Welcome to episode 106 of the Emotional Needs Podcast. And today is going to be kind of a hodgepodge. We're going to talk about everything from hormones to cravings, workouts, maybe a little supplements, and pretty much what life is doing with me lately. And I wanted to kind of have a no rules, fun hodgepodge of an episode today. So here is the first rule breaking that I'm doing. Today is the first day that I'm allowing my sweet dog Pepper to stay in the room while I am recording. So if you hear sounds like licking, snoring, groaning, that would be Pepper. He is a 12, maybe 13-year-old black lab turning gray. We have a rescue dog, so we're not exactly sure of his real birthday. So he's been a wonderful dog, though. He's been amazing, and he is passed out right now, and I didn't have the heart to move him. And if you're a dog or cat or animal lover, you'll understand I didn't want to kick him out. So I'm giving you a little bit of a sneak peek into my recent midlife world. What's working, what's not. I'm going to share with you all the products I love. I normally don't jump in and just share all the products that I'm using and I love, but I wanted to share those with you today specifically because a lot of times when I'm doing a podcast episode, am wanting to stick to a certain topic. So since today is a lot of different topics, I can share with you what I'm using, what I'm reading, all of the above. And I also just wanted to share with you about our community and why any woman over 40 or 50 could use a coach right now. I could even use a coach right now. By the way, I do have a coach that I really am so thankful for because we all need some direction and we need an outside perspective. So here we go. Let's dive in to a little bit of Kim World and what's been going on. I want to give a shout out actually first because I had a very fun experience. I went to my mom's 80th birthday in North Carolina a couple weekends ago, and I will definitely be sharing a little more detail with you. And that scratching in the background is Pepper. And I got to meet one of my long distance listeners. So, Stephanie, shout out to you in North Carolina. I appreciate you so much. I also want to shout out Trudy, who's here in town, who always shares with me what she gets out of the episodes. And that's so helpful to me because when you share with me, then I know what to keep sharing, what you need, and really what you're getting out of it so I can give you even more. Another listener that I love to hear from is Trisha. And she makes this podcasting community really special because she has written me some really nice Instagram notes sharing what she's gotten out of the podcast also. So anyone who's listening, if there's something you get out of this, please get into Instagram and send me a note and just let me know what you love, what you need, what can I be bringing to you for topics, and or go on to YouTube and comment under the episode on YouTube. The other other thing you can do is if you're not on my email list, you can go to my website and you'll get a pop-up screen and you can sign up for the newsletter. And I'm starting to do a new series called Diary of an Emotional Eater, in addition to the episode newsletters that I send out. And it's just a way of me sharing with you some really personal stories from me and my clients that have been going on with emotional eating and how we're working through that, and to give you some tips. But starting with the real deal conversation that I've either had with myself in my journal or my clients have. And so I appreciate all you listeners. And it is so amazing when you share that you've listened to an episode, and it makes me so happy because then I also can picture you. When I'm talking to you, I really am envisioning you, anyone who reaches out to me. I'm envisioning the women that are just like me. We all have so much in common right now. And I feel like so many of us could be friends if we really knew each other, not just through social media and through the podcast. So let's get into it. I traveled to my mom's. We drove from Florida to North Carolina. It's about 7.5 hour trip. And I have this thing with traveling and emotional eating. So I would love to hear if you can comment, send me a message if you ever do this. For some reason, I really feel like when I'm traveling, I have this weird memory of traveling with the family. We get to stop and we get food in the gas stations. We used to go through fast food and just the convenience of it, of course. But as a kid, I would love that, we get to eat. It's almost like a treat. We're eating out or we're stopping and grabbing things we wouldn't grab. Well, that extended throughout my whole life. Traveling, it was never an option for me to be prepared and bring food with me. I would just stop in the Starbucks, in the gas station. But now I have a new way of doing things because I never feel good from sitting in the car all day. I have two things that I do that make me feel a lot better. The first thing is I do pack my own food as much as possible, but of course you need to stop. So I'll give you a trick for that too. I cooked up some chicken. I put it in a container, had my cooler. So I had chicken, I had Greek yogurt, I had some cottage cheese, lots of fruit. So Mike and I had food on the way up to North Carolina. I had to think because we were coming down south, coming back. And coming back, we did not have that. So we will often stop at a grocery store, not a gas station to eat. Although we've done Crackle Barrel if we were traveling at night because you can get meat and vegetables very easily, or eggs and vegetables. But I will go in the grocery store and I will grab one of their salads. I may not always eat their salad dressing, get some fruit. I am not a huge fan of deli meat because, as we know, deli meat has a lot of filler stuff in it. And sometimes they even put preservatives and things. That meat is pressed together, processed meat. However, in our area, we have boar's head. And if that's the best I can do, sometimes I'll get a quarter pound of turkey, and maybe I'll even get some cheese, and I'll get an apple. And that's a really good snack for me to get by. Or I'll get the individual cottage cheese or individual Greek yogurt and some fruit, or they have the mini veggie, cut up veggies. So there's other ways to do it, but here's the problem. The traveling is such a draw, such a pull to get that kind of junky food that we would emotionally eat, because of course, when we emotionally eat, we don't go towards vegetables. Because what is going on? Let's get to the really underlying situation here. Driving can be boring. It can be long. You can be tired. You could be rewarding yourself for making this long drive. People who I work with a lot of salespeople who have that trouble. They're driving around all day long, and it's their way of giving themselves a break, a reward, or having like that fancy coffee just so that they feel like they're getting this reward. So I get it. Emotional eating while traveling is a thing. Let me know if that's something you do. But hopefully those tips will give you a little bit of something else to do at least halfway on the trip. And then you could treat yourself to something fun. I am traveling again this week. I'm going to fly out to Colorado to see my kids, and I even take food on the airplane. Last time I took 2 hard-boiled eggs just for breakfast because I get to the airport so early because I'm so nervous. Anybody else an anxious traveler? I'm such an anxious traveler. But once I get there, get through security, and I'm sitting and I'm by the gate, everything's great. And then I can just eat my food. I used to get there and have Starbucks like egg bites or coffee, but I never really felt so great with the food that I've gotten at an airport. So and again, it's the same traveler reward. You get to eat whatever you want. So I usually have a couple hard-boiled eggs. I have a bunch of blueberries or raspberries, but I got caught at TSA last time because I tried to get through without really realizing that I couldn't because I didn't look at it carefully enough. I tried to get through with a Greek yogurt and it was over the quote liquid limit. I'm putting in air quotes because it's not really a liquid, but they count it as such and it was over the limit. So I totally understood, no big deal. And I had plenty of food just to get me to Denver. It's only a 3.5 hour flight, so not a big deal, but I just like to have my own food when I'm sitting there and I know what's in it and starts my travels off. Because when you travel, you're going to have fun, you're going to let go, and you don't always have everything that you need right in front of you. So that's what's going to happen on Friday. I'll be taking some things, but I do have triggers by flying, and that makes me emotionally when I'm anxious also. So that's what I handled. I wanted to share with you something really great about my mom's birthday party. She turned 80 and they had this big birthday party. And there were so many people in that room that were over 90 and they were doing all the things that I want all of us to do. Their brain was with it. They were having a great time. They were moving well. So remember, if we don't use it, we'll lose it. We got to keep walking, keep working out, eating well, because the dementia that we will discover in our 70s and 80s is really starting now. So we have the opportunity to do great things for our body right now. And that's why with the emotional eating, it's not just because we want to feel better and feel in control with food. We really want to be able to find that balance so that we can stay healthy and keep our brain and our bodies moving and healthy and keep that cognition. But that older generation looked so good. My mom looked great. Everyone seemed happy. And I will say, they're in a community, and I think it's not just all the things that they're doing, but they have so much connection. They're around each other all the time. They're always having dinner together. They're literally eating their meals together every night and having conversation and social time. These people have had some amazing jobs. It's, engineers, architects, school teachers, principals, all these different jobs. And they still have things to talk about. They still want to have conversation. And so I love that. We really can learn from that joy and that simplicity and that connection. So I am going to share a new topic, so I'll let you know. I wanted to share something that I love, and I shared this in the email. And again, if you don't get the email, just either DM me your email address or get onto the kimhines.com website and you can sign up there to get on the email list. I was sharing about my Organifi Gold chocolate because at night, and I'm going to share with you today some of the many reasons I've been having cravings recently, and some of them are very physiological, some are emotional. A lot of the traveling makes me a little edgy, and so I tend to emotionally eat a little bit more, but I've had some hormonal things going on too. But at night after dinner, I'm always wanting that sweet thing. And if I'm not careful, I'll dig into my 20-year-old stuff, things I don't even like. And I've been using the Organifi Gold chocolate. It is a turmeric tea that tastes like dark chocolate, and it has reishi mushrooms and lemon balm extract in it because that's relaxing. It's great for before bedtime, but I do it an hour and a half before bedtime because I don't want to be up and down all night in the bathroom. But I also love it because it does have that dark chocolate flavor. And of course, chocolate and peanut butter are my favorite. And I also love it because it has ginger and turmeric in it. And as we are, trying to work out, take care of our bodies, we're also trying to reduce that inflammation. So I am doing a plug for Organifi because I love it. It keeps me out of other things in the evening. And I do love having some dark chocolate at night, but sometimes I just don't want to put one more thing in my belly. And I'll make sure that you get the code in the show notes, but you can get 20% off with my code KimH. So that's my plug for that. I also want to share with you, I am loving Brain FM. And so I reached out. FM is a tool that I use for focus, but also for sleep. I have noticed, and again, I'm going to share with you why, but when my hormones are not completely in check, my focus changes, my brain fog's a little bit higher. I tend to be a little more fatigued, and I will pop my headphones in. I will listen to Brain FM, and it is music that has a particular sound and beat that can keep your brain focused. And what's really cool is under the focus section, you have different modes. So I can pick creative work. I can pick light work. I can pick motivation. There are different parts of the focus mode that I can pick for me to get my work done. So when I have this going in my ears and I just have it in the background, it's so much better than background noise because it is designed scientifically to help you concentrate. So I've been using that. I use it every day, at least once a day. But then I also love it because I can take a power nap and it helps me drop into that nap really fast, but it also helps me get out by 25 minutes because if I nap too long, I'm too groggy and I can't get things done. But sometimes you're just exhausted. You didn't sleep well. You woke up too early. At our age, sometimes sleep is a little tricky. So we have these little things going on. Mike's not sleeping really well right now, so that could wake me up when he's moving around a lot. So it helps if I can take a 20-minute power nap. And you can set the timer on these things. If you are on the email list, you got the note that I talked about with procrastination. And it really helps me a lot because sometimes I just have that underlying fear of starting a project. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to put that in the show notes too. I have a link and you can try it for 30 days. If you feel like you are distractible, I'm so distractible. I would love to share that with you. So I wanted to also share with you when I was with my mom, I got to see the musical Menopause 2. So again, I'd love to hear from you. If you saw Menopause 1 or Menopause 2, the musical that came through your town, let me know. Now, I'm not a huge fan of musicals anymore. It's just a Kim thing. I don't know what it is. I loved them when I was younger and I lived in Connecticut and we would go into New York and see shows. So I was very curious how this was going to go, but I also was curious how stereotypical they would play out the symptoms. But let me just say this. Overall, it was very cute. The actresses were amazing. Their voices were amazing. It was really cute. But they did, and this is so normal, they did stick to our stereotypical hot flashes, rain fog, belly. I will tell you one thing I absolutely love. They did a song about not caring. This is the body we have now, not caring, and also not caring about what people think. So overall, it was really wonderful because you can't possibly include the 150 symptoms that actually come along with menopause and perimenopause. So if you do get a chance to watch it, it was cute. But here is the thing. I looked around the theater and I was just in awe of the beautiful women, all shapes and sizes. I saw all ages. I saw even down to what they looked like they were in their 20s. Maybe they just are really young looking 30 and 40-year-olds, all the way up to probably my mom was with me. She was 80, and my stepdad and my husband, Mike, we got to give them some kind of credit there. They went with us. There were not a lot of guys in the audience. We got to give them credit for showing up with us. But it was funny. They laughed through it and they enjoyed it. And again, it was very cute. So if you get a chance to see it, you will probably really enjoy it. If you've gone through it or going through it, you will appreciate it. So I wanted to share something else about emotional eating that's happening with me is when I had the parasite, those of you who've been with me for a long time on the podcast, you know that I went through a lot of gut issues. I even had a 5-part gut health series that you can go back and listen to. Amazing experts. And it turned out when I finally went through all the steps to figure out what was going on, I had a parasite. And I had Kim Rogers come on the show because I had done her Parasite cleanse. Where I'm going with this, you can go back and listen to those and hear all about that whole journey and get so much information on where you can pick up parasites and worms and everything else. But what happened to me is when I had the parasite, I had really high emotional eating, very high cravings, very high sugar cravings. And it was really challenging because I was battling that a lot of the time, and I wasn't exactly sure what was going on because I felt like I was doing all the things. I was eating the appropriate food. I was exercising, and I couldn't understand why I still just kept craving it, because many times when I take the sugar out of my plan for just a little while, I can really enjoy other things like fruit, and then just have a little bit of sugar once in a while, because I'll never give it up. Let's be real. I'll never give it up. If it's got chocolate and peanut butter in it, I'm not giving it up. But I wanted to share with you what happened is when I went through the cleanse and I actually got rid of the parasite, that detox really, really helped me. It stirred up the emotional eating for a while because parasites do love that sugar, and so do other things like candida. We know that cancer loves sugar, and we know that that sugar creates inflammation, but all the things in our body that we really don't want, they love sugar. So I was so excited when I got through the cleanse and my gut was responding better, doing all the things it should do. When I got through that, I actually had less cravings. So when your gut's off, you may have more sugar cravings. So please remember that. It's not just this battle of willpower. It's really about you looking at all the systems in your body and what's going on mentally, what's going on emotionally, what's making you not feel safe in your body, what's making you feel fearful, what's going on in your gut, why are you inflamed, what's happening in all the systems, maybe even the liver, are we not detoxing there? So that is so related to sugar cravings. And then the other thing that happened to me was I went through a week where I could not figure out not only the sugar cravings, I was feeling very sore from my workouts. This is right when I got back from my mom's, and I had not been eating great because of those cravings. And also, I was away, and she had a beautiful, amazing birthday cake, and she made cookies, the whole thing that you do when you go see mom. But I was very sore, I was fatigued. I was having a lot of different issues thanks to my hormones. My cravings were really high, and I didn't know for sure that it was my hormones. I thought it was just traveling. I thought it was just working. And here's the funny thing. My husband, Mike, because he's been around me, he's been talking to other people about menopause. He knows as much as I do at this point because we talk about it all the time. And he's always telling people about the podcast. But Mike said, hey, you've got all this stuff going on. You're tired, you're sore, these cravings. Could your hormones be out of whack? Ding, ding, ding. I was like, we have a winner. So Mike was the winner because he realized that my hormones were really out of whack. And I'm very excited that he said that because here's what happened to me. And I just want to share this with you. If you're on hormone therapy and you are loving it like I do, I chose to do the creams. So I have the containers. And when you get near the end of a container, they're not quite as potent as they were when you first got them. And actually, my nurse practitioner told me this. And I ended up not absorbing as much also because I was having some other things going on with my body. I don't think I was absorbing it. And as soon as I raised that estradiol, sure enough, all those symptoms started to go away. I had a couple days of raising it back up and felt a lot better. So I'm just sharing that with you in case you are going through something. It could be hormonal. It really could be. So I also wanted to share, let's just take a second and do a quick mental health check-in for everybody. How are you doing today? Are you feeling anxious? Is there something on your mind? Let's talk about doing some square breathing first. So if you have that thing on your mind, take a quick second and breathe. If you don't know what square breathing is, I think it's the easiest thing to start with breathing if you're not someone who practices breath work. But you can just breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts. So again, it's breathing in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, and hold for 4 counts. Do that 5 times. Your breath is so, so powerful in helping you calm your nervous system, because when you are anxious and your nervous system is on fire, and we sometimes want to stimulate that vagal nerve too, just to make sure that we're not reaching for things like the food to calm ourselves, or being upset, or saying something we shouldn't say, or stuffing down feelings because we don't know how to say them without being angry. Take a moment with me to breathe. And if you're not a big meditator, I want to give you an update on what I'm doing. And I have always understood that when I start my day in peace, that I can accomplish more. I go into the day in a calmer space. So I've always wanted to meditate first thing in the morning while the coffee is brewing, which, by the way, here's another update. I'm drinking half decaf now because I realize that the real stuff, that can make me anxious. That can make me jittery because I love it. I love coffee. So I do sit for 10 minutes while the coffee's brewing, close my eyes. I sit cross-legged on the couch or on the floor, and I do a 10-minute meditation. And by the way, if you're not sure which one to do, don't worry about just being quiet and still, but worry about if a thought comes in, it's okay. Don't try to keep yourself without any thoughts. Just observe the thought, and then you're going to let it go. My friend Amanda has a beautiful saying. She said it to me, and it has stuck with me. Let that thought come in, observe it, let it flow, and let it go. Isn't that beautiful? Just let it flow and let it go. And the reason why I love that is I will be doing a meditation from someone maybe like Deepak Chopra or Joe Dispenza, or a Christian meditation. And I can't help it, but something from my to-do list comes into my head, or something that I have to do that day. And that is the time where you can just say, I see you, and then just let it go. And if you do that for 10 minutes a day, it's amazing how you can start your day. And then I can move on to devotions and prayer, and you can do it in any order you want. So here's another exciting thing that happened to me. I got to go on TV to talk about emotional eating. And I'm laughing because I would never have thought that someone would want me to come on TV and talk about emotional eating. But, we are in a world where diet culture is really just challenging. And when all we see is diets and not sure what to eat and what to do, we are understanding, though, that our body and our minds are taking over, especially when we're stressed out. So I have been in touch with the co-host of a show called River City Live. Her name is Eden Kendall. And she asked me to come on and do a spot. So I had my 2 minutes of fame. But something I wanted to tell you about that I think is really interesting. Leading up to the show, I was a little bit stressed out, worrying about hair, makeup, what I was going to wear, worrying about even what I look like as far as my age. But in the end, when I got grounded and I really got rooted in what I needed to talk about, I realized it didn't matter. I'm just going on as myself. I even thought about blowing out my curly hair. I thought about buying a new dress and all of these things. And sometimes you have to do that because maybe you don't have something appropriate for an event. That's okay. But my brain was going in overdrive on how I was going to show up physically for this event, because of course we all think of that if you're going to be on camera. But I really was excited when I got into what I was going to talk about. And what I talked about on that show was basically the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger, and how some of the ways that we use to bring down the nervous system so that we can eat emotionally in a way that is, we can love our food, have emotion around it, but not overdo it and use it to cope. So the things that I talk about are breathing, walking, tapping, everything I talk to you about. And I'm so excited, speaking of tapping, I am going to be creating a free emotional eating tapping script and video for everyone, and I will let you know as soon as that is available. So that was my TV appearance. It was fun, and I enjoyed it. I wish I had more time because I could have talked for an hour on that subject, as you know, because I normally do when I'm talking to you. And thank you for listening. So it surprised me what I learned from that once I really got down to what I could offer, in that TV show. All right, new topic, because remember, this is hodgepodge. We are all over the place today. I have so many updates that I want to share with you. I read a book this year that I just cannot stop sharing with people. It's called The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon, Lawhon. First name Ariel. And it is a really cool kind of a mystery historical fiction. So it gives you everything that, like, I'm a murder mystery girl. By the way, that in the background is my dog, like, sighing in his sleep. And it is about a really powerful, strong midwife. She's the heroine. And it's a murder mystery at the same time, but it's also a true character. The character is someone who existed, and a would love to hear your thoughts if you read that book, because I've recommended it to so many people who are in book clubs, people are just looking for something different. It was probably my favorite book this year, because I really do read a lot of murder mysteries, nutrition, fitness, mental health, and I needed something else because at night I love to escape the world with a little bit of fiction or historical fiction before I go to bed. And I think that really relieves my mind, gets me off the phone, just like the crocheting does. Crocheting update, I've only made one thing. I made a cute sweater, and I was in the middle of making this granny stitch tank top, and I made a mistake somewhere along the line, and it's huge. So I have no idea what I did wrong, but I will work that out. But the crocheting at night while I'm watching TV with Mike has been really helpful, because then I'm not on my phone. Because if you think about it, if I'm on my phone and I'm watching TV, I'm on two devices at the same time. It's craziness. But we don't even think about that. So I would also love to share with you what's going on with supplements right now. I talk about this every once in a while with doctors on this podcast. In episodes, we talk about our favorite supplements, but I never really talk about what I'm actually doing. So I change things up. I think supplements are really interesting. First of all, I'm not a doctor, and I am specifically a health coach for a reason, and I'm going to tell you why in a moment. But you really can have so many supplements and not even know why you're taking them after a while, because it can become a habit. Or you take them because your friend took them, or you take them because you read an article, or you take the supplement because you saw it online and this is the one thing. Make sure you first check with your doctor. Always check with your doctor before you take supplements. And when I explain to you what I'm doing, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing them. But I also get in that mode sometimes where I feel like there's just too much. And I really want to get as much as I can from real food, but we can't always do that, right? It's challenging because our food isn't always even grown in the best soil. Maybe it's where it's not available. Maybe we're not having the diversity that we need. I thought it was something like 25 to 30 different types of plants every week in our gut to keep our microbiome with that beneficial bacteria, keep it running and humming. And that's a lot if you think about it, diversity. But you can include herbs, you can include onion, garlic, things like that in your list. So I was trying to go through the whole list the other day of all the things that I eat, fruits and vegetables wise. And I am very diverse, but I still didn't hit that 25 mark. You got to let me know if you do. What are your tips for doing that? But here are the supplements right now. I just talked to a doctor also about this first supplement. I was meeting with someone yesterday. We were meeting to see if we could help each other out, sending our clients to each other. And he and I both agreed that creatine is amazing. And I know a lot of people are concerned about it. So you do your research, you talk to your doctor. But creatine not only helps us hold this muscle that at this age, I'm always talking about it. Build your muscle, ladies. Build that muscle. That is going to be a hormone balancer, a blood sugar balancer. It's going to help you fight the fat, especially this visceral fat, and bring down the inflammation. And creatine really helps with that. It is tasteless, odorless. I just mix it in water. Sometimes I'll mix a little mixture of water, creatine, and collagen if I'm not doing a shake that day. And I'll talk about the collagen too. But the creatine, here's the thing. It's not just for the muscles. We are finding when we're looking at all the research, and I'm just combing through things that are coming out right now. And again, always make sure you're checking with your doctor. But the cognitive benefits that are helping with the brain for us at this age, again, remember, we're working now to help anything we can do to fight off the dementia and Alzheimer's that could be happening in the next 20 years. We got a lot of life in us. We want to be able to remember it and have fun and be able to have conversations and be social and just do what we want to do. And so I am taking it for the brain positive benefits also. So I mentioned collagen. Collagen I'm a little iffy on. I'm going to say this is not something I take all the time. I'm in collagen, I'm out of collagen. I'm in collagen, I'm out of collagen. But I will tell you why right now I am adding it in. My nails sometimes get a little brittle at this age. And when I'm taking collagen, my nails are actually a little bit stronger. They're not splitting. Love to know, does anybody else have that happen? My thumbnail splits all the time. And so it makes me feel like I have some kind of a deficiency. But also when I'm having gut health issues, I feel like when I'm taking collagen, that seems to be helping me. There are a lot of people who take it and they don't even know if it's giving them joint, gut health, hair, nail benefits. And that's really interesting to me when people take supplements and they're not really sure if it's helping. And I'm a little bit weird about that. If I don't know for sure, I have a hard time keeping it in my routine because, we could get some little pill boxes that are pretty full every night of all the things we take. So here are my two non-negotiables outside of my hormones because my hormones are non-negotiable. Everybody around me is much happier that I'm on hormones too, by the way. So vitamin D3, we are all really deficient. Living in Florida, you would think with me outside running and walking and being outside every single day that I would be okay. But I am always low if I do not supplement every single day. So I do keep up with the vitamin D3, magnesium, and a lot of you have heard all of this already. Again, talk to your doctor, get tested. I don't know that anybody gets tested for magnesium, but I do know that magnesium is one of the supplements that we are minerals that we are really deficient in, and it helps with so many things. For me, it's almost like, why not take it? Because it can bring down the stress. It can help you sleep. It can help your bathroom habits. And I may get this number wrong. So if you know this number for sure, just know I know that I may be off. But I think there's over 600 biochemical functions that magnesium has to do with. So you are very welcome to look that up and correct me if you want to. But I do believe it's more than that. I'm going to tell you a couple other things that once in a while I rely on. Sometimes I take some melatonin at night if I'm having just a really nervous week and I know that it's going to wake me up in the middle of the night thinking about something that's going on the next day. I will take it the night before I travel, and sometimes I take it while I'm traveling because I'm going to tell you, sleeping while I'm traveling is not always easy. So those are some of the supplements right now that I am taking, and doesn't mean you have to take them, doesn't mean you should, but I wanted to share that with you. And the other thing I'm going through, since we are on the hodgepodge new topic of the episode, going through a little workout dilemma. I was doing my heavy and I was in a program and I really liked it. But I'm in a phase now where I am doing the second phase of this program, and it is it's somewhere between 3 and 4 sets, and you can do 8 to 12 reps. And I did have to obviously bring my weights down because the first phase was very heavy, so I was doing 5 reps of this much heavier weight, which is great, by the way. Since doing this is my second time doing this program, and I'll tell you more about this program after I finish this round, but I have definitely doubled my squat, my bench, and my deadlift because I wasn't doing much before. I was doing lighter weights, and we know we need to lift a little heavier. This one, the reason why I'm in a dilemma is because it's changed over. It's taking me a little more time. I am a little more sore. It's really interesting how every phase is different for me. And again, that soreness might have been because my hormones were off too. And I don't mind being a little sore, but please remember your workout isn't good just because it makes you sore. Your workout is good if it's helping you build and keep your muscle. So that's what I would love for you to keep in mind. And it's helping keep the fat at bay, and it's helping keep inflammation down and balancing your blood sugar. Soreness does not equal good workout. And so just want to make sure I share that with you. Okay, so New topic, health coaching. I had someone reach out to me, and I love that people reach out with all kinds of different questions. And someone was asking for a very specific diet for a very specific autoimmune, and was wondering how I could help them as a health coach. So let me give you some other scenarios just so you know the answer is always the same. Whether someone says I'm type 2 diabetic, my A1C is really high, whether someone comes in and says I want to lose 50 pounds, but I'm a very emotional eater. Someone may come in and say, I have arthritis and I have a lot of inflammation. I want to learn to eat better. Someone may also come in and say, I just literally feel addicted to sugar. It does not matter when someone comes into me. The reason why someone needs a health coach is they cannot do it by themselves. And that is okay. We need help in life. I told you I have a coach for many different things that are going on in my life. And it's not just, I don't use it just for business, the coaching. I help people design their plan and do things, start where they are and do the things that they can do as they're ready to do them and build the habits that they need to do to create the life, the joy, the body, and the health that they deserve. I also help them realize their worth and feeling like they can get rid of all the limiting beliefs around this diet culture, what was said to them when they were younger, how they thought they should do it and it never worked, but they kept trying because they thought they were the failure when it's really all the diets and the counting of everything, the calories, the macros. So whatever you choose to do, there is an individual plan, and there are a couple ways to go about that. Working with me one-on-one, where you get the entire 55 minutes to look at you, your week, your past. How are we going to help you move one step forward? Every time we get together, if there's just a little step forward, you're going in the right direction. Mindset, body, heart, brain. We have to rewire everything, not just what we put in our mouth. And what we put in our mouth is a result of so many other things, not just sticking to a diet or not. Going and working out, whether you do it or not, is not just whether you have willpower and discipline to start working out. And there are so many ways to do it. We only think in a box. I'm here to help you advocate for yourself. When you go to the doctor, I'm here to help you think out of the box. And I'm here to help you realize that only sustainable results come from the small changes that we make that we can do over and over and over again, but it has to start in the brain. I also love helping change those negative thoughts to positive thoughts because we're all going to have them. Negative thoughts about ourselves, about other people, about our circumstances, but I love when we can change it and help you learn through the tapping and the meditation and the conversation to change those thoughts because you're usually doing better than you think. And I'm the cheerleader. I love to encourage and uplift. But also, another way to work with me is the Emotional Eats community. And I got a message asking me to explain more about the community. So the community is a place where women can get together and talk about in community the things that they're going through because we all are going through a lot of the same things at the same time. I have specific topics and pillars of my program that I love to bring into the community, but it's also about addressing what's going on that week because we meet weekly in this community to really learn how to stop emotional eating by letting go of limiting beliefs, learning how we can eat and we have permission to eat, learning how to use our bodies to move, learning all the things that might be affecting like people pleasing, not setting boundaries, not saying no, how you feel in control or out of control with certain things in your life. Are you a caretaker? There are so many different topics that we cover just to help move you forward. And then we have a community where everybody can chat with each other throughout the week before the next call. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you check the show notes for the link because I'd love to have you join us. And what's really great about it is it's like a subscription. You join, you like it, you get what you need, and you can move on. And you can always come back, or you can just hang in there and love having some connection and some guidance every week and some accountability. We are not meant to do life alone, by the way. This is a space for your support, your strategy, your sisterhood. So I just want to make sure that you know about that. Thank you so much for being here today. I loved breaking the rules today and just going all over the place with different topics and letting Pepper, my dog, stay in the room. Don't know if you heard him or not, but he's still sleeping and loving life. I think I want to come back as a dog. I love that he's just so chill and so relaxed. But then as soon as he gets outside, he can run and chase the squirrels like anything. I appreciate you. I hope that you will please download the episode, follow, share this with a friend. If there's something you all have been talking about that's came up in this episode, make sure you share it with your best girlfriends. And thank you so much for all of the comments. Those of you who are letting me know that you are listening and what you like about it, please make sure you let me know that, if there's a topic that you are really dying to hear about, I will search down an expert if I am not able to speak on it. The other thing is, don't forget to go to kimhines.com. If you're not on the email list, get on the email list, because a lot of things that happen behind the scenes I send out during the week. And like I said, I'm starting a series called Diary of an Emotional Eater, which is really just really personal about some things that have happened that I know a lot of you can relate to when it comes to emotional eating and learning to deal with food and having food as a coping mechanism. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a blessed day.